Friends, the U.S. Social Security Administration has great news for all beneficiaries today. Across the country, watch the entire video to find out about the most recent events in Washington, including the choice that will raise the income of the nation's 65 million Social Security recipients. Please remember to hit the like button. It would be very helpful. You should also subscribe. It's completely free, and it will make us friends. And I have great news to share. Today, the U.S. Congress is finally able to work for the welfare of the people, not just for the people as a whole, but also today, for the people as specifically all Social Security recipients. More than 65 million individuals are among the most significant members of the federal government, having worked tirelessly for their country and making both financial and labor contributions. Money to our nation's federal government with the sole assurance that, upon reaching old age, they would be granted a respectable retirement that would enable them to, of course, have a pleasant life in. It's no secret that people in the U.S. are having difficulty making ends meet, but sadly, this has grown to be a serious problem in recent years, as some who get Social Security do not receive the money they need to live. Today, the United States Congress finally shows compassion and starts making the decisions that the nation as a whole and the Social Security recipients have been pleading for. After decades of waiting, the U.S. Congress has finally delivered some wonderful news today that will both enhance the standard of living and raise the amount of money accessible to all Social Security recipients. Of the United States House of Representatives and the Senate must recognize that they are the two houses of the federal government, and that their current efforts are aimed at addressing the growing expense of living standards for senior citizens, particularly those on fixed incomes who rely solely on this income. And, as we have said time and time again, Social Security and financial resources are the main concerns that Congress has finally come to understand these issues, and they are now making the judgments that the country has been waiting for. If you enjoy our content, please remember to hit the thank you button. It would much enhance the United States Senior Q and Benefit Increase Act is a law presently being considered by the House of Representatives, spearheaded by Senator Bob Casey of Channel, the president of the Special Committee on Aging. Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallo is from Arizona, has also been battling in the past several months to attempt to enhance the standard of living for all people in this nation who are getting social insurance. I always remind them that these people are the most vulnerable in the U.S. The United States federal government and Congress, in my honest opinion, have not kept their commitments today. Both the congressman and the Democratic senator have stated the belief that they have earned the right to a decent old age. The need for reform has compelled us to start taking the required actions in the U.S. Congress to amend the legislation and, of course, immediately improve the lives of over 65 million people. According to Senator Key, Social Security offers millions of older folks in Pennsylvania and across the nation the assurance of a stable and secure retirement. These are crucial remarks. Pals, I will explain to you why, as I have said this many times, and I will not grow weary of saying it. In addition to working, Social Security beneficiaries made financial contributions. The federal government promised its citizens that Social Security would pay them for retirement so they could have a comfortable retirement. Social Security paid taxes during their working years, and those taxes went straight to the Social Security Fund, a respectable life in our nation. The statements made by Senator Kai are factual. The federal government of the United States is failing to keep its word as the price of essential products and services for the elderly rises. We cannot allow this to continue in our nation. Should break its pledge to all American pensioners who have painstakingly aided in the expansion of the American economy and are the main reason this nation is the world's largest economy. Naturally, in one of the most significant nations on earth, the Senior Q law and benefit rise would enable everyone to deal with growing expenses and guarantee that Social Security continues to be a lifeline for those in need. As I have repeatedly emphasized that the majority of developed nations saw Social Security as a necessary benefit for their residents. It is a right that people have for their citizens who live there, work, and pay taxes. Unfortunately, the majority of these as a public service, Social Security is naturally seen by the Republican Party in the United States as a favor to the people, but when necessary, they are willing to adjust their perspectives. Pay taxes to their Social Security recipients. Social Security should always be seen as a fundamental right deserving of respect. These persons are aware that the U.S. federal government will provide for them in their old age. As they get older, they will be closely monitoring the effects of this new regulation, which seeks to modify the method used to determine the advantages of COLA. In order to reflect inflation, update the cost of living and include a fact sheet. The goal of this measure is essentially to alter how our country calculates inflation. But how does this affect me, and what advantages and financial benefits will I obtain as a result? According to the Senate's Special Committee on Aging, due to modifications made to the U.S. inflation calculation methodology, friends now get Social Security benefits annually instead of receiving them directly. A fact sheet on the current ELOLA cost of living adjustment formula is distributed by Congress. Although Congress's inflation index doesn't fairly reflect real inflation there, LCOC based its changes for the following year on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners from the prior year, which compensates for the previous year's inflation. Is a recently updated index that more precisely depicts what every American spends every day. The index includes costs for things like food, consumer goods, and housing, among other things, because these are the things that senators and congressmen want to include into the inflation algorithm to better account for living expenses and, in the end, provide checks. These costs are also substantially greater than those incurred by IND people in the U.S. who receive Social Security benefits. Aims to instruct Social Security to update its cost of living adjustment using the real index that most accurately represents the cost of inflation. This would increase American payouts and provide guidance to the U.S. The Consumer Price Index is calculated and published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics on a regular basis to let people know how prices are changing nationwide. Because of the rise in forgiveness costs, seniors in the state of Arizona, who Congressman GGO, a representative for the state of Arizona who is naturally trying to change laws across the nation, stated that Social Security recipients perceive a decline in the true worth of their benefits. His new bill puts additional money in Social Security recipients' pockets to help them pay their bills and buy their meds. In conclusion, paying for all of the costs associated with living in the United States is a fun FAL right that individuals people have earned. According to Congressman GGO and Senator Key, we are beginning to carry out the reforms that the entire nation has been demanding in order to give everyone more and better benefits. Thank you very much, and until we have the next opportunity, individuals who receive social insurance in this country should remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video to keep everyone informed.